The Special Sustainability Zone legislation passed in the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis continues to attract criticism and mistrust by some political parties and social media influencers in the Federation. Recently, the People's Labour Party reiterated its official stance about the legislation and what the party believes are legitimate concerns being expressed on what could emerge from developments approved under such legislation. PLP chairperson Ms. Wendy Phipps spoke of the concerns being raised and the party's position on the legislation and its potential harm to the country.
The passage of the Special Sustainable Zone Act, that is a detriment to the people of this country. We are hearing our people cry out. We are hearing not necessarily mainstream media as such, but independent media, social influencers, persons who are stakeholders in Nevis, in St. Kitts, wherever they may be, who want answers, who want explanations, who want to understand if after all these years of taking pride in land ownership, if we are now going to lose it so that we can have some sort of a neo-colonialist system reestablish itself in St. Kitts and Nevis to the detriment of our people. And we have countless examples all over the world where things like this are happening, things like this are being resisted. We can look to Prospero in terms of Honduras. We can look to other examples in South Africa, all over the world where this is happening. And I find it quite funny that instead of us doing what we should have done in the beginning, which is to have public consultations before bills are passed in Parliament, we rush to pass this bill. The Prime Minister says it has nothing to do with him. It was to facilitate Nevis, which is a bunch of you-know-what, because at the end of the day, anyone reading the legislation would recognize that he, as the minister responsible for lands, federal minister of national security, which means he's responsible for citizenship, does not have the luxury of saying he takes his hand off of it. That can't work. Cannot work at all. Now, last time I checked, I thought that we had a system of government, a system of lawmaking in this country where before bills are passed into law, especially those that have serious impact on the lives, livelihoods, and futures of the people of this country, that consultation is a must. It is not an option. So from where we sit as a party and me as an individual and a citizen of this country, I could only say that, as usual, we have a government with a cat before the horse mentality. You rush to pass the legislation, and now you want us to buy into the legislation after having passed it. But I could also tell you that this is not something that will be easily countenanced by the PLP as long as we represent the interests of the people of this country.
Early criticism of the act started with objections from the Nevis Reformation Party shortly after the act was passed in the National Assembly and after the disclosure by the CCM-led Nevis Island administration that interest was being expressed on a major development for southern Nevis under the SSZ legislative framework. Glenn Barr reporting for SK Newsline.